Brazil is one of the world's biggest food suppliers, a top exporter of agricultural commodities like grains and beef. But at what environmental cost does this come? The recent fires in the Amazon brought this question to light globally. In the international political arena, French President Emmanuel Macron sounded perhaps the loudest alarm, adding the fires as an emergency topic to a G7 summit meeting in France, while Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro took offense to what he called Macron's colonialist mentality and remained defiant.
The wildfires in the Amazon, in my understanding, may be partially due to the action of NGOs, who did it just to create problems for Brazil, because they have been losing money.
As pressure mounted, Brazilian authorities softened their rhetoric and pledged to protect the Amazon. But allies of Bolsonaro, like the São Paulo state deputy and vice president of the Brazilian Association of Soy Producers, say that will happen on Brazil's terms and not due to foreign pressure.
Nós vimos que tem muito holofote.
What we have seen is that a spotlight was thrown on something that is usual, that happens every year. Our problem in Brazil are the environmental groups that manipulate people just to create a smokescreen, to hide the true commercial interests behind all this.
The pictures of the forest burning have already caused some economic backlash. No ban on Brazilian soybeans or beef, the main commodities produced in the region, but two big fashion companies, H&M and VF Corporation, have decided to temporarily stop buying leather from Brazil. The ban is not expected to have a significant financial impact here, but it does carry much symbolic weight and contributes to a negative image of the country abroad.
Não está claro. Então é cenário que a gente não pode.
It's not yet clear what the impact in practice will be. None of Brazil's really big buyers have stopped purchases. We cannot rule that out, but it didn't happen so far. And they would have had time to do so already, as it happened in the past after other allegations against Brazilian beef.
Some farmers argue there's been an overreaction in international public opinion, in part thanks to Bolsonaro's aggressive rhetoric that does not reflect what has been happening on the ground. But environmentalists argue it is precisely the government's policies of pulling back protections of the Amazon that's reflected in the fires and higher deforestation figures.
4 or 5 years ago, the Brazilians were convinced that, oh, finally we are going to stop Amazon deforestation. We can even win this battle. Is being undermined by the last figures. And the last figures are a consequence of a series of events. Reduction of governance.
As the dry season continues, wildfires are still raging in many parts of the Amazon. There's some action being taken to control them, but as massive as they are, the reality is there's not much more that can be done than wait for the rains to come in November. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.